Eyes that see so deep, endless hours, no sleep.
Hello, vampires, and welcome back to Mystic Falling, your recap podcast of CW's The Vampire Diaries from two elder millennial women who, surprisingly, have never watched the show before. I am Beth Elderkin.
I'm Abbey Kindler.
And today we are going to be diving into Season 1, Episode 11, Bloodlines, and I will be speaking with this wonderfully seductive, low, calming voice because I lost my voice this week and it's still recovering, so I'm going to sound a little funky. Just a heads up.
I think we'll all manage. I think it sounds great.
Why, thank you. I remember last year I lost my voice when I was doing a murder mystery play, and I had to go super low because it's literally the only thing I could do.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of creepy how much the men liked it. Because I was playing kind of the minx character. I was playing the seductive character.
Mm-hmm.
And so they all oh, now she's super sexy. I'm like, you're twice my age, sir. Please leave me alone. Well, maybe not. Maybe half older than me. Oh no, I'm older now. Elder millennial women here, ladies and gentlemen, and folks and everyone in between.
It's tough to realize. Beth, I turned 40 in 2 months.
Yeah, I turned 40 in 1 month. I'm ahead of you. I'm ahead of you, girl. I beat you to the punch. Yay. Yay. I'm not worried about 40. I told Tim I want to go to a spa. Just send me to the spa and luxuriate for a few days. That's all I want.
Ooh, I want to do. I've never been to a spa. I just imagine it's a lot of wrapping, and you know what I want to do? We're just off topic now. I just want to float. I want to do one of those float sensory deprivation tanks.
Yes, I've always wanted to do that too. I'm a little worried I'll freak out, but I'm also worried I'll love it.
Yeah, it's just listen, I'm either gonna have a panic attack or have reached nirvana.
Transcendence.
Exactly. There is absolutely zero in between.
Well, everybody, this episode aired on January 21st, 2010. This was the first episode after a 2-month winter hiatus, after the big cliffhanger from the previous one where she got into the accident with the guy who comes up all creepy and then vanishes. So,
and then leaves because he...
Yeah. It was I definitely love when a cliffhanger just resolves itself very boringly in no time flat.
Haha, never mind.
But yeah, this was directed by David Barrett. It was written by Kevin Williamson and Julie Plec, who, as we know, are starting to become a bit more regular names. So I think we're going to start seeing them a lot more often. So Abbey, would you like to take us on a journey? On a little road trip, perhaps a literal journey in a car.
A literal journey. I love a good road trip episode, especially when it's random and there is a non-consenting party with it, technically kidnapping. Miss Elena, our lovely main character, has found herself in an overturned car, screaming because she has hit somebody or something, and it is now reanimating and stalking towards her. And it goes on long enough that you think that there's going to be a face reveal. And then he runs off. I assume because he smells Stefan or senses Stefan coming. Not Stefan. I'm sorry. Damon coming. And Damon just shows up and he's like, hey, girl. Looks like you got yourself a little bit of you look a little pickle. So if you could just put your arms up and I'm going to cut your seatbelt. And then she passes out. Not before saying, I look like her. And Damon's like, no, we should go on a road trip. She wakes up and is just like, hey, what's going on? He's like, we're in Georgia. And she's like, stop the car right now. I want to get out. He's like, okay. So she gets out. They're in the middle of damn nowhere. And she's just, you don't have your phone. Don't get out of the car. Where are you going? And
that was, by the way, at least an 8-hour drive. So she was unconscious she had the full 40 winks or whatever you call it.
Well, what makes me laugh is that he definitely does a concussion protocol on her because he's looking at her, making sure that her eyes are dilated correctly and that she's I'm like, I don't think she's supposed to sleep that much if she's got a concussion, but I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Yeah. And so she wakes up and she discovers that they are in Georgia for some unknown reason. And while this is happening, Stefan has discovered that his lovely lady is missing. This is after he has discovered that she left her necklace with the picture of Catherine to make sure that under no uncertain terms, she knows and she's super freaked out. And Beth, I don't want to bury the lead here, but the amount of lore that got dropped in the last 30 seconds of this episode is unhinged.
It was wild to me how much this felt almost like fan fiction, where it was like almost like it's like a fanfic series where you have to have the big reveal at the cliffhanger just to keep the people coming back.
Yeah.
That's really what this felt like to me. I'm like, why wasn't some of this at least maybe we could just spread it out a little bit more, just a teeny bit.
So two things. First of all, absolutely fan fiction. This is like a self-insert character that like has like a crazy background that doesn't make sense in the universe at all, but definitely connects her to it. It's like the main character, she basically looks exactly like me, but like is like way cooler and awesome. And also she's super connected to the most important character the whole time, like for reasons that don't quite make a lot of sense. But it also is just like, it's just a lot. How are there so many seasons of this show when this is the lore that is getting dropped in episode, 10 of the first season? What keeps happening? I am baffled by the amount of show we still have left. Like, if you told me there's just like 4 or 5 seasons, I think I'd buy it. I think I'd buy it. But there's what? How many seasons? 7,
I think
8?
there's 7 or 8, yeah.
Yeah, that's so many seasons for this. Anyway,
she's going to be a fairy by the end of it.
For sure. And then her brother is going to be a were-cougar or whatever that was. Puma? A were-puma? Doesn't matter. So Stefan has discovered that she is missing. And so he's like, I'm going to go find her best friend. Maybe she knows. But Jeremy is now doing his research in the library because he has he runs into his manic pixie dream girl, who is
homeschooled manic pixie dream girl.
Homeschooled manic pixie dream girl.
Felt very unrealistic. I'm sorry. I was a homeschooled girl at the library. We were not this cool.
That's why she's the manic pixie dream girl, where it's
fair.
I'm homeschooled, but not like homeschooled like you think I'm homeschooled. Yeah. I'm homeschooled like in a cool way. They meet. Their meet cute is so clumsily camp. Like like she pushes a book at him, and then she like from the other side of the thing comes around, has a full spaz moment, and then they fully headbutt each other, and they go, "Oh my god, I can't believe this happened!" And now they're gonna get married, Beth.
There were 2 things about this scene that I clocked before all the stuff with Anna. One was Jeremy's hair looks so much better in this episode. Just keep it this way. I really appreciated it. And on that note, Jeremy's characterization in the episode was very interesting to me because you can see the effects of the spell, like, or the hypnosis, like the vampire persuasion, because he is just like almost like a completely different person at this point. But then the other thing was I had to do a legit double take for that library because for a second, it was a dead ringer for my college library at San Diego State.
Nice.
And I was like, I thought they filmed this in Georgia. Did they do stuff in California too? And like, no, that was a Georgia library, but it was a moment.
I have a question about you mentioned Jeremy's characterization and the vampire suggestions and things. So here's my question. Do we think that this is going to be a plot, like we talked about before, do we think it's going to be a plot device about his being like brainwashed into letting go of his grief to get away from the being an absolutely busted, drug-using, like sad, depressed boy? Do we think this will be a plot device forward? Or is this like I always relate it to Boy Meets World, where they have like one episode where they completely change the characterization of Topanga because they've run out of ideas. So like they do it twice with her, which is wild. Because she started as the hippy dippy character, right? And then like she cuts all her hair off and then suddenly becomes a popular, stunning girl who does her hair in the morning and suddenly no longer a hippie. And then in the college years, she realizes that she's no fun. And then her character completely changes after one episode again because the character doesn't have a through line. Do we think that's what's happening with Jeremy at all? Because I suddenly got a little afraid about it.
I do not. I believe there's a long game here for a couple of reasons. One is the show has made it very clear that, what you put out comes back to you times 3. All magic comes with a price. And they were very clear at the time. There was a judgment call that was placed on the decision that Elena made for Jeremy. And that echoes. 2, the fact that he is researching vampires now, that Anna comes in is like, vampires are real, by the way. Here's all this stuff I found. I'm not crazy. And he's like, oh, well, oh my God, my ancestor was journaling just like your ancestor about vampires. This is so crazy. I think it's going to trigger something in him that he doesn't understand, because I think he's good. I still believe he is going to become a vampire hunter.
Mhm.
And whether consciously or subconsciously, he's going to have this resentment and anger toward vampires for what happened to his former girlfriend.
So I love that. I also hope that somewhere in this universe, there is someone who has watched every single episode of this show and is a diehard fan and is listening to the two of us posit what we think is going to happen and sitting in their car going, you dumb idiots. It's a secret third thing that you haven't even thought of.
But I love when it's the secret third thing I haven't thought of. Like, that's
I
my
do too.
favorite. That's my favorite.
The secret third thing is so fun when it's like the first couple of seasons because it makes sense. The secret third thing when it's in season 8 and you're like, no, how is the secret third thing that the Enterprise shows up? None of this makes any sense. So my favorite moment in this episode, for some reason, is the part where she asks, cool, what are you researching? And he says the longest sentence in the world. And he says, like, I am researching this town's and the Civil War between the years of this and the folklore and the effect it had on writers and arts in the time between these time periods and their authors. And she goes, you're going to have to narrow it down. Girl, what do you mean? That was the most specific thing I've ever.
You didn't think she was being sarcastic? I thought she was being sarcastic.
I don't know. I really don't. I think she was like, no. You really need to hone it in, because then she says you need to hone it in on the vampires. I think she was being truly earnest of being like, you're so far off base. You need to narrow your scope, my guy. Vampires, they are real. They walk among us. Let's talk about journaling.
Let's talk about journaling while playing video games or going to an arcade or whatever the hell we do, because we're teenagers.
We're teenagers.
Oh my God. But, they're having fun. And you know who else is having fun? For arguably the first time in the entire series, Elena.
I love Elena in this episode. She is having a great time. They go into a bar. And she's like, excuse me, I'm a minor. They're not going to serve me. And he's like, excuse me, this is a dive bar. They'll serve anybody. Get in here. And guess what? It's run by the crew of Firefly. I was immediately on board. 1,000%. I'm like, yes, Bree, let's go. And she's like, oh, you all so-and-so. Turns out, a witch. Knew Damon back in the old yesteryear when she was just a little fresh-faced college girl. And Damon, shockingly enough, broke her little heart. But they're still good friends. Oh, I'm sure that's true. And nothing will go wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not a front or one-sided in any way.
No, not at all. And Elena decides to drink all of the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, the amount of alcohol they showed us that she was putting down and then also saying that she'd also drank more alcohol, she would be in the nearest hospital getting her stomach pumped.
And she's like drinking them under the table. Like, she's like showing off. Like, everyone there's that other woman who's like, you can't, how are you? I'm standing up. And Elena still going strong, which makes me think that there is more to her physiology than we know right now.
God, I hope so, because this is the kind of stuff that I used to see being like, oh, I could absolutely drink boys under the table. Cut to just blackout drunk, vomiting, and you're just like, I could have drank with them. No, stop trying to impress people by the volume of alcohol you're drinking. It never ends well. If I can impart any wisdom to anyone young reading this, do not try to impress anyone with the amount of drugs and alcohol you can put in your system. No one's impressed, and it always leads to bad times for you.
Yeah, and not to say don't do it at all. Like, have fun, have a good time, but do it based on your body and what feels good to you, not what is going to make you look good to somebody else. Because $10 says
my body. I know my body.
in making yourself feel cool, like trying to make yourself look better, you're going to end up looking a lot worse when you are vomiting in a bush outside. Am I speaking from personal experience? I don't know. Life is crazy like that.
Yeah, it could have happened to anybody.
Anybody.
Anybody. Just it could not us, not us. We're so
No.
smart, Beth. We didn't do any of those things.
No, we're dainty ladies.
But while this is going on, Bree goes, I'm gonna go make us margaritas. I'm gonna go to the blender. Don't mind me. Turns on the blender, pulls out the old phone, and she's like, "You'll never guess who just walked into my bar." And she calls Lexi's boyfriend, who is now a vampire.
Did Lexi know?
I think she did. It was unclear, like the way that it was explained, because Lexi explains that he's a human, but then he's a vampire. You know what? I don't know. Maybe like she went out of town and he decided it was going to be a grand romantic gesture to be turned.
Or maybe he got turned after she died. Like maybe he could, avenge her maybe or something.
No, I think he kind of, the way he says, like, if you want to be with someone forever, you have to live forever. So I think it must have been a relatively new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she just didn't want to say that she had turned him to an impressionable 17-year-old who was clearly in love with Stefan. Be like, oh,
Fair.
yeah, no, I turned my boyfriend. Like, no, it's fine. Like, that's absolutely a choice that you should and can make, because I'm sure Lexi was a smart vampire who knew that she should not be, like, seeding ideas into the impressionable youth of America right now.
Fair.
But while this is going on, Bonnie is having a full meltdown.
She's got a magic block.
She got a magic block. She's trying to help Stefan locate Elena. She can't immediately. This is the couple of sentences she says that don't make sense to me, where he's like, I need you to use this. It's hers. Can you locate her? I don't think I can do that, Stefan. That's not the kind of magic that I have. And he goes, I would love you to try. I've known witches and you can do it. She tries and it fails. And then she says, usually I see pictures. I saw no pictures. I'm sick and my magic is gone. I need to go. So she couldn't do it before, but now it's not working the way that it should. That it was just the way that it was lined up was a little confusing.
It was a little plot convenient. Now, this is just a random thing, and this isn't a mark on the actress or anything at all. It was just a random thing I noted. When she was, like, doing the thing with the leaf and trying to make it show magic pictures, I don't know what the hell she was doing. Her fingers did, like, a back bend thing, which some people have. I do not. Like, it's not a lot. Yeah, it was just like that, if not more. Mine don't really do that very much. Yeah. And I thought it just looked really cool and witchy. I just thought it looked cool. So, Abby, maybe you have magical powers too.
I'm a witch. Well, that's not the worst thing anyone said about me. Let's go.
Yeah, Salem witch trials do not have backbending fingers. They are going to burn you at the stake.
Ooh, interesting. Now I'm
just making that up.
It doesn't matter. I just be like, I'm not a witch. Look at my fingers. A witch. So she goes and she talks to her. This is her grandmother, right? She talks to her grandmother, and her grandmother's like, girl, there's nothing in those books. You need to go to the source of whatever's freaking you the hell out. And she goes, okay. So she goes to where Catherine is buried deep beneath the crust of the earth. And Stefan comes by and is like, hey, Grams, is Bonnie home? She's like, no, she's not. She's off being scared about something. And then he shakes her hand and they have like a knowing look back and forth. She's like, okay. Don't you do anything stupid. He's like, okay. And so he leaves. They basically have a conversation later because like there's a whole thing with Bonnie that lasts. I'm not gonna lie to you. The whole thing with Bonnie was not interesting to me.
No.
Okay.
It could have been cut down. I did like the scene with her and Stefan where she was talking about the vampires being in pain and how, he was kind of dismissing it and her humanity coming through, being like, yeah, I know they're vampires, but that's messed up, dude.
Yeah, because he's like, no. They're basically dust right now, and until someone gives them blood, like, they don't feel or anything. And she's like, okay. And he's like, okay, get in my arms, close your eyes. We're going on a magic ride.
Climb on Spider Monkey.
He was so Edward Cullen in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So Edward Cullen in this episode. Okay, hold on, I lost my place. Anyway, he takes her back. I'll just wrap this part up. But basically, she goes back. He goes back with her to drop her off because he's such a gentleman. And then he and her grandma have a moment. I'm
I think they
obsessed with
did.
this interaction.
I think they went to Bone Town at one point.
I'm obsessed with this interaction. The two of them have they had so much chemistry for absolutely no reason, and I loved every second of it. Because Gran apparently was a anti-war baddie and was, knows what Stefan knew him from the old days, basically shaking hands with him. She clocked that. She didn't know if he'd recognize her with her, his whole face. It's different. He's like, I'd remember you forever, girl. Like, you're so cool and awesome. If they would have kissed, I'd have been happy. It was so like, kiss.
I did appreciate how well the actors leaned into this interaction.
Yes.
Because it was a moment where Stefan was really showing his age as an ageless vampire.
Mm-hmm.
It happens with Damon as well, with Bree. Like, they both had interactions with women from their past who have aged since then. And it's like, it's almost feels like two older people meeting up again after a long time separated, but one of them happens to still look young. I thought both actors did a really good job. Actually, all four actors did a very good job in that situation.
And let's just say what it is, man. Younger guys hitting on older women. I'm in. Like, it's just, that's not something you typically see in the Hollywood space. So that is the Stefan and Bonnie side plot that they have. Basically, we know that Bonnie can hear them, and it scares her. The vampires scare her. She is finding her way back and through all of the secrets and things that she knows. Back in Georgia, a drunk Elena gets a phone call from a very upset guardian. And she's like, oh, it's so loud in here. I have to go outside. It's so loud. I'm fine. I'm at Bible study. It's fine. Goes outside and is immediately abducted. Because it's the middle of the day. No, wait, it was nighttime, wasn't it?
It was nighttime at this point. She'd been out for a while.
The first call she makes, it's during the day. That's what I'm confusing with. But yeah, she goes outside alone and whatever. And my favorite is that Damon doesn't realize she's gone. This, to me, was a smart choice of being like, I think Damon does like Elena a lot. I just think Damon's also a selfish prick who is a vampire. So he's like, cool, I'm talking to a girl I like from my past and everything. Hey, where's your girlfriend? Oh, shit. How long has she been gone? Oh, damn. And then he's like, oh, no, she's a frail human being. I need to go find her. Goes outside, finds her phone on the ground. I was half expecting Jenna to still be on the phone.
Hello?
Goes out, and then Beth, he absolutely gets his shit rocked.
By a new vampire. I was a little surprised at this.
Like,
this did not check out to me.
Like, this was rough. I mean, if we're talking Twilight-wise, new vampires tend to be pretty... Newborns in at least Twilight lore are very powerful and scary because they are unregulated and they don't know their own strength. I could get that. Not Twilight, and this isn't explained. It's just a man who has been wronged because Lexi is dead. He beats the shit out of Damon and then starts pouring gasoline on him so he can light him on fire. And then Elena pleads with him to be a more moral vampire. She's like, this isn't what Lexi would want. If you kill him, you're no better than him. And if you think he's a piece of shit, are you going to be a piece of shit? He's like, no. Fine. But I will throw you against this wall as one final act because F you, dude.
What are your thoughts on Elena begging for Damon's life this much, given what their interactions have been up to this point?
Listen, they've clearly got kind of a chemistry, and Elena is your basic vampire female main character where she has an adrenaline junkie nature where she's not going to watch Damon die. She likes him against all her better judgment. Whether she knows she likes him more than that, I don't know. But she also knows that it's Stefan's brother, and her humanity is coming out here being like, you can't kill him. I know him. And if you kill him and I know him, I'll be sad. And I don't want to deal with that. But it was more, it was nicer the way she did it. She was having this whole, like, don't do this. You wouldn't want to do this, because I just don't think Elena wants to see people die. So kind of,
That's
but
fair.
obviously, I think she's also harboring some big emotions towards our good friend Damon here. Which, who wouldn't?
So he does spare Damon, but Damon does not spare Bree.
No, he goes back in and basically goes, "Hey, you suck. Why would you do that?" And she's like, "I have so much vervain in my system. You can't kill me." And he goes, "That's hysterical." And then rips her heart from her alive body. And then walks away.
Place where they put the fake hole in her body was like her stomach. The prop work in this, the effects work was not anatomically correct.
Beth, he didn't want to have to go through bones. So he went down under and then up. He went in and up. Like he's because going through bones, what if he scratches his little arms? He can't have that. He can't have that. He has to go in and up. And to the left or the right? No. The human heart, a witch's heart. Beth, a witch's heart is right near your stomach. It's just basic physiology. Go ahead.
A little behind the scenes trivia about this. So Gina Torres is the one who plays Bree. I love her. She is amazing in everything that she is in, and she should be in more things. Apparently, she had a very tight schedule, which is why she was brought in and killed in one episode. My theory is that if they could have gotten her for longer, they would have, because she's Gina Torres and she could do no wrong.
You keep Gina Torres forever.
I was bummed. I legit thought we were getting a new supporting character, like a new cool bar witch that Damon would pop into occasionally to just see what's going on. But no, we're not that lucky.
I thought we were going to get like a mentor witch for Bonnie to go like for her rebellion phase, because obviously she listens to her gran. She's going to have to find a witch who's like, no, this is the fun way to use magic. That's what I thought we were going to do. Hey, you know what? Maybe we're not wrong. Maybe Lee comes back and puts Bree back together for an episode later, and she's like a vampire witch who teaches Bonnie things. I don't know.
Or she's a ghost.
A ghost! Yes.
Maybe she's a ghost.
We need ghosts. This show needs ghosts. Speaking of ghosts of the past, I am obsessed with Ulrich.
Oh my God.
This was also melodramatic. I could not deal with it. The first scene is him journaling, because everyone in the show is in therapy and learning to journal. So he's journaling. He's
got his own manic pixie dream girl, but it's a manic pixie dream dead wife. The flashbacks we get of her are so corny and so like written by a man. Like this is you actually see like tropes of this, like, catch me, Alistair, catch me. And then the next shot is her dead. Like it's the idea of like this perfect woman memory. And that's all we get of her. She is the saint. She is the angel. She is the dead white woman. Like it's a trope.
Yeah, I always joke with my husband ever since we saw the original John Wick. So the original John Wick, it opens with him like bleeding out in a gutter, and he's got his phone out and he's watching these just absolutely stunning videos of his wife. And she's like, oh my God, John! And she's like on the beach and she's ethereal and things are running behind her. She's like, John, I love you. We've never been happier, John. Yay! And I remember like we left the theater and I told my husband, I'm like, I hope you are never lying, bleeding, dead in a gutter, going to your phone for like a reassuring video of your wife that is going to make you come through this, because it's just going to be a bunch of pictures of me flipping you off in a Kohl's. Like, there are no videos of me on your phone that are of me being an ethereal beauty. It's just me being a dumbass. Like, you're like, remember my wife? Oh, why is she doing this? But yeah, no, and it's so corny, and it's like, I mean, to the point of, so he's journaling, right? And he's just like, I've come to Mystic Falls and I've found that evil does live here, and I will spare no expense to make sure that everyone I know and love and care about has been avenged. He looks to the bed, looks to the picture, and the lighting shifts to like a twilight bluish haze, and this is how I know it's not real. You wake your wife up before you go to your job at 7 a.m. and she's on a third shift schedule. Girl is not going, oh my God, oh, you're so weak, I love you so much. No, girl's trying to take a swing at you. Go away. I love you, but leave. And clearly she has died in a terrible way. And we find out in the last scene that basically he comes home one day to find Damon draining her of blood. Then he sees Damon in a bar. And that's where the episode ends. I don't want to I obviously don't want to end this episode on this, but this is where that ends. But we have to talk about lore, Beth.
Yes. Is that your standout moment?
Yes, of course. My standout moment is everything. If we think about it, Beth, if you think about what this man does in this episode, he journals at his computer, stands up, goes to the doorway, looks longingly at his bed, and then is immediately at a bar for 5 seconds. He has 15 seconds of activity in this episode, and it's everything to me. I am in love with whatever this arc is, and I support him no matter what. I'm obsessed with this character.
Yes, absolutely agree. I was wondering if what I'm calling the Gauntlet of Revelations with Stefan and Elena, if that's your standout moment, or is it Alaric?
Oh, no. Alaric is my standout moment.
Okay,
because
Alaric's your standout moment.
It is such a soap opera moment. I couldn't love it more. There's nothing they could have done to make this more delicious. I want to put it into I want to make it a piece of food and eat it. I loved everything about this. The coloring was the shades. Everything about this was from a different show. It was just look, yay, we're in Georgia. Hey, all this setting. Black and blue, sad, melodramatic. I'm going to kill this man at a bar. I can't believe he's draining my wife of blood. Something's going on, and we only got 15 seconds of knowledge. I am obsessed with this level of storytelling.
Well, before we get to the Gauntlet, I'll go ahead and share what my standout moment is, and that's when Elena's getting drunk at the bar. That was my standout moment of the episode. I actually ended up watching it a couple of times.
Nice.
Because, for two reasons. One, it's fun, and it's very silly, and you don't get a lot of that in the show, at least at this point.
Right.
And two, it really kind of shined a light on how little fun Elena is able to have with Stefan. Stefan is not a character you can have fun with. Stefan is not a character that you can just be goofy and silly with. Every single interaction between Elena and Stefan is dead ass serious. Because Stefan is dead ass serious and there is no room in his world for fun. And it's great to see Elena, having that opportunity to let loose, have fun. Of course, you don't need alcohol to have a good time, but in this situation, she wanted it. Whatever, it's no big deal. But it was a stand-up moment for me for two reasons. One, it really just showed Elena a new light and showed her connection with Damon, how different it is from Stefan. It also just made me like Stefan a little bit less because Stefan is such a killjoy.
So, and I think that's part of the trope. You know what I mean? It's always the main character and her vampire boyfriend. It is all just intense. It's so intense. There's no fun with the intense brooding boyfriend. There is only just very strong feelings, very strong actions, and a lot of very deep conversations where you're mostly arguing. It's why, obviously, most people were Team Jacob when you were reading those books, because it's just she's having a good time. He's teaching her skills. She now knows how to soup up a motorcycle. Edward just, won't let her go places. He's, kind of mean to her. He won't, actually communicate with her. He's kind of a dick. But they're so in love. And, that's kind of what Stefan and Elena have got going on, where it's so intense. It's so intense all the time. And you're just chill out.
Well, he does not have time to have fun in this episode because he has to completely destroy Elena's entire worldview in the matter of about, 180 seconds?
He just won't stop.
No. He just keeps going.
There's got to be a better time to do any of this. Stefan basically just goes, hey, so listen. Because she's like, hey, why do I look like Catherine? An amazing question and a fair question. And then he goes, I don't know if you want to know. And she goes, tell me. And he says, listen, I met you a while ago. I actually am the person that pulled you from the vehicle instead of letting you drown. I was trying to save your father. And he said he won't allow me to save him until I save you. So I saved you. And by the time I went back, he was already gone. And Elena's like, no one could explain how I got out. They all said it was a miracle. And he was like, That's my nickname. And then she's like, but I don't understand. That doesn't make sense why I would look like her. I'm not from that. Like, it was like this in the middle was the thing that threw me for a second, because she was just like, I'm not part of that like bloodline. I'm not part of that family tree. As if, and again, you'd have to remember that Mystic Falls is really like old worldy a lot of times, where they're talking about that. Like, oh, you're descended from this line and this line. She's like, I'm not from that. And he goes, here's the deal. You're not. You're adopted. You're those parents that I tried to save but died, and you're tragic. Not your bio parents. I looked it all up. I looked. What did he say? He's like, I looked up your birth certificate. It listed the hospital and your mom, but your mother has no records of ever being admitted to that hospital.
Or of ever being pregnant.
And then she's like, okay, cool. Where did I come from? And he goes, if I started sniffing around too much, people were going to get suspicious. My man, you were already looking at birth certificates and whether or not a full woman was pregnant. I think you could have taken one more step. I feel like it would have been fine.
It's like he completely shattered her entire world and then pieced out.
It's like, I got boundaries.
This was like, because he gives a lot of information and then stops right at the information that she would want the most. So it was infuriating to me, not in a story way, but in a character way. Like, story-wise, I think this is totally fine, but character-wise, this just makes Stefan look a hell of a lot worse.
Let's just think about like Elena's 48 hours here. Okay, she is slept with Stefan, only to find out that she looks exactly like an ex-girlfriend that he's super hung up on.
Who turned him into a vampire.
And now he's randomly in love with her, apparently. So she's mad, removes the necklace, leaves, goes on a road trip with the brother, has a great time, but then does save his life, comes back to find out he has actually saved her from this. It's what the miracle was. And also she's adopted, but sorry, I can't give you any more information for my selfish reasons. I didn't want to get found out, but I'm going to tell you that much. So she leaves, and then Jenna's just like, how dare you? And she's like, no. We're not doing how dare yous right now. I'm adopted. And Jenna, they told me not to say anything. And she's like, you suck. I hate this. This place is a prison. And then goes upstairs. And that's where we leave the Elena story. So yeah, it's a tough 48 hours for our girl E here.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I feel for the girl. That's a tough nut to crack. And through it all, she's still talking to Stefan about how much she loves him and how much she's dedicated to him and devoted to him. And I'm like, I'm not saying I'm on Damon's team. Frankly, I'm on neither of their team right now. Frankly, she needs to be by herself to figure shit out, because she is being used by both men. One of them is just more aware of it.
Yeah, and she's also still fully within the year of her parents' very tragic demise. It's a tough time. How long has it been now that she's met Stefan and he's been in her life, ruining her day after day with just more information? There's only so much information you can put in a head before full mental collapse happens.
I mean, I'm guessing that it's following the track of a school year. That's kind of how it felt, because they had the Halloween episodes and the fall episodes right before the hiatus. And we're now coming back in, and she's still dressed warm, for cooler weather. So I'm guessing like half a year.
6 months? So 6 months. We've made it to about a 6 month mark. That's fine. Not fine. But it's just, I love that like every episode is just like, hey, Elena, you know how you got over the thing from the beginning part of the episode? Here's a new awful thing. Excellent. So I can't wait for the end of like next week's episode to be like, and anyway, Jeremy's actually the thing from the swamp. Like, but yeah.
Before we get to the fashion, before we get to our your fashion corner, I did want to make a note that the bar is actually a real place. It is in Covington, Georgia. It is a real bar, and apparently it is now a very popular tourist destination for fans of the Vampire Diaries.
Okay, we'll add it to the road trip list. Road trip list. as
Road
we
trip.
go visit Mystic Falls and this
Mhm.
bar. So we'll gather a couple others, so we have a couple points of interest. I'm sure that there's like a walking Mystic Falls tour that Vampire Diaries
We are absolutely going to do that. We are absolutely going to do that. We will catalog everything and we will report back what we have learned. Well, Abby, let's take a trip into your fashion corner. What fashions inspired you this week?
Oh, Beth, I am wearing a hoodie today. I know that if you're listening, you can't see it, but I'm currently wearing a hoodie. It is warm in this room, so I could not commit to the full bit. Abby's fashion corner is layers with a hoodie is in the middle, like a hoodie sandwich.
Mm.
You're wearing a t-shirt, you're wearing a hoodie, and then you got a jacket with the hood sticking up out of the top. I closely relate this fashion to the movie Dogma because that's the way Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's characters dress. They're always wearing like a hoodie like underneath a trench coat because they're hiding angel wings, but that's a different thing. I love this fashion. It comes back every so often, and it's my favorite look of all time. It will be the look that will always be like, oh, that's a woman that was born in the 80s. There she goes in her jean jacket with a hood sticking out. Because like 3 of the characters are rocking this look this week, and I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with that look. It was so hot in the early, like the mid 2010s, and it's coming back, baby. Yes.
It's cozy, man.
It's
I'll
great.
I'll give an extra addendum to that for what was Jeremy's friend's name? Alex. She was wearing a dress with a hood and jeans, which was the Avril Lavigne thousands look. She was dressed to go to a Fall Out Boy concert.
You guys, I cannot even begin to explain to you how much clothing had a hood on it. Like everything you bought had a hoodie on it. Like it was thumb holes and hoods. And if it wasn't meant to be emo, it sure looked emo, and it was my favorite thing. Again, this hoodie I put on with intention because guess what? It's from Eddie Bauer, by the way. I got it at like a Black Friday outlet mall situation. It has thumb holes. It's got a hood with a bunch of inside-outside pockets. It's my favorite thing of all time, and I'm obsessed with it having thumb holes. Thumb holes in your hoodie is the greatest thing that's ever existed, and I will die on that hill. So anyway, that is my fashion corner as we head into the fall. So when you're out apple picking, be sure to layer with a jean jacket or a leather jacket with a hood underneath it and the hood sticking out. It's cozy. It looks cool as hell.
And you know what? Go full Elena, skinny jeans and knee-high boots. She looked amazing. Her road trip outfit, top notch.
I also forgot about the fact that like between the years of like 2000 maybe like 5 to 2000 and maybe 11, all of us were wearing such deep V shirt. Like Elena's wearing them all the time. All you see is her sternum. She doesn't even really have cleavage. It's just like it's just how it sits. And if you watch those early 2000 shows, that's what it always is. So Elena is layered, but her whole sternum is out the whole time. Like she's like, oh yeah, no, I'm dressed real warm. Girl, I can see just your whole chest. Like, what are we doing here?
Full breastbone contact here.
Full breastbone. Like, what are you doing right now? Which is not the way to your heart. You got to go under and up, as we discussed before. So yes,
as we have learned.
Thus concludes Abby's Cozy Fashion Corner for the week.
And that also concludes our episode, Season 1,
Whee!
Episode 11, Bloodlines. Thank you so much for joining us for this latest episode of Mystic Falling. A little brief announcement. Want to let everybody know that for the foreseeable future, we will be going to bi-weekly, which is kind of what we've already been doing loosely anyway. It's just scheduling and life. We want to make sure we're getting out the top quality content to you guys on a consistent basis. So we've decided to go bi-weekly for the foreseeable future. That could change again in the future, but just as a heads up, that's kind of being made official. And make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcast or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can join. We have a Facebook page. You can follow us on Instagram. You can also follow us on YouTube, where we post our video versions where you can see our lovely faces. And here are
holes in my hoodie.
with thumb holes in the hoodies, yes. And I'll occasionally see cats, because a cat was sitting on my chair for about a third of the episode, and now is sitting on my corset for my bodice for the Renaissance Fair. Well, we're going to be back next time with Season 1, Episode 12, Unpleasantville, which apparently has a 1950s retro dance. And man, that title is giving me some flashbacks. If you were growing up in the era of Pleasantville, that was a moment.
Yeah.
Just saying, it was a moment.
You know what? Pleasantville as a whole, I could talk about Pleasantville for hours. So I look forward to the sock hop vampire episode. I'm very excited.
Yes. I cannot wait for slicked back hair, leather jacket, smokes in the pocket Damon. If we don't get that, I'm going to riot in the streets.
Elena is going to be, I'm just calling a shot here. Elena is still going to be in like her like signature spaghetti strap, full sternum, deep V tank top with her sleeves, because she's always got her sleeves on, and then just full poodle skirt.
Yes.
It's going to be great. I'm so excited. Abby's
fashion
corner is gonna be unhinged.
Yes. The fashion corner is going to take over an entire house.
Yes.
Abby's fashion house.
Abby's fashion salon.
Yes. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. In the meantime, keep that ring on, drink your vervain, and Abby, it's down and up to get the heart out. Because you got to keep the nails clean.
Got to keep the nails clean and our forearms clean. We just got up, and then we throw the heart away. We just throw it away.
We don't want to dirty those thumb holes.
No, of course not. That's disgusting.
Yeah.